right, it's me again. And for the final training in this third video, I'm taking you to Vegas. Are you ready? Well, what happens in Vegas isn't going to stay in Vegas because I'm going to be sharing this incredible training with you. You're about to meet a woman who is trying so hard to find a job. And she's frustrated. She's been doing everything that all the experts say, and she's still not getting ahead. Well, when I reveal one simple thing to her, the entire thing flips on its head. And now she's in action and able to get what she actually wants. So if there's an issue in your life where you feel stuck, where you feel like you work hard but you're not getting the results, you want to pay close attention to the conversation you're about to watch in Vegas. Let's go.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, Jen.
My question was, I've been in a job search for a long time. So
What do you do for a living?
Well, I was in the trade show industry for a long time.
Oh, cool. Okay.
And now I'm independent contractor, so I do, but it's not a very forward-thinking industry, and I'd like to be in a forward-thinking industry, but a friend recently pointed out that the industries I'm interested in don't seem to be that interested in me, and so I get a lot of advice from people on, well, have you done this? And I feel like I've gone about the job search in a really intelligent way, meeting people. I'm not just submitting, applications online.
Yep.
I'm talking to people. I am, this person at this company that I'd like to work for, so can you make this introduction for me? And
Great.
LinkedIn Master and going to networking events. And I like talking to people. I like meeting people. So I feel like I've been doing all these things well and right, and still not getting to where I want to be. So taking a lot of action and just not getting that result, which has been really frustrating. But along the way, you get all this advice from people. If one more person tells me to drive an Uber, I'm going to I swear to God, I'm like, first of all, I can't drive without swearing. Second of all, have you seen my driving? And who wants to drive in Chicago? And I'm
You're
like,
funny.
Oh my God. People just say things like, well, you could work at Starbucks. Okay, I'm here asking you about a very different type of job. But,
Right.
It's just you just get all of this unsolicited advice, and I don't know if my patience is just wearing out.
What do you want?
Well, I'm looking for a full-time job so I can have insurance, so then I'm currently separated, and then I can proceed with the divorce.
One way in which I am what you call an outcome or solution thinker. So I don't ever try to think from where I'm stuck. I try to invent a fictional location that is somewhere far away from where I am stuck, and then I come up with as many possible ways to get there as I can. And when I come up with options, it relieves me of anxiety of thinking there's only one way to solve the problem, because there's never only one solution to a problem. And your problem right now, if I heard you correctly, is that you need insurance. And that's a very different problem than needing to find a full-time job. And so the first thing that I thought about is, well, if the immediate problem to solve is to get insurance, then there are probably a dozen ways that we could go about that without ever even talking about getting a full-time job. And so I want to make sure that you're spending your time and energy solving the right problem first. And so if the issue is, I need to find insurance, I would focus on how do I, whether it's through a connector or through, which is what we call it in Massachusetts, how do I actually get myself insurance for as cheap as possible so I can get this divorce done? Or how do I get my lawyer or this person to make sure that as part of the divorce, I actually get insurance? Whatever it may be, that you solve the thing that's causing you angst first. Because I agree with Christy. I think that whether it's you starting to pursue the idea of being a consultant that works with brands and helps them leverage everything you know about LinkedIn in order to build their brand, because you understand how it works and you know a lot about it, that you could probably charge a lot of money to manage somebody's LinkedIn profile as a brand perspective on a monthly basis. That's a stream of income.
Right.
The trade show industry is not a forward-thinking industry, but you are. And there are lots of consultants out there that probably bring forward-thinking ideas, and everybody that I know in the event space is talking about virtual events and how to be more creative. And so the reason why I'm saying this is because I find that I often get very agitated about things, right? And then I get really busy about trying to fix all the shit around me. But I'm not actually having a conversation about the thing that's bothering me. And I'm not actually solving the right problem. And so even just today, I had a conversation with Chris where I said, I had Mandy laugh because I have this, like every 2 weeks, I have a conversation with Mandy or Chris where I go, you know what I really need help with from you and Mandy is I really need to sit down with you two and, and go over what our priorities are for the month, okay? Like I'm creating some sort of problem. Mandy's laughing because it's true, right? The problem is not our strategy for the next month as a company. The problem is I'm overwhelmed and not focused. And so I'm working on the wrong problem and I've got a lot of angst about it. Does that make sense? Yeah. And so I would recommend that you figure out the healthcare thing as fast as you can, and I know you're trying, and I'm sure it's scary and frustrating, but I would look at how you get yourself healthcare and pay for it in creative ways, and that will probably free you up to be able to think more broadly, creatively, and forward-thinking wise about how you want to create that income. Because I don't think you want a job. I don't think you want a job only because you're at a, you know, when I hear not a forward-thinking industry, when I hear that you recognize that you've got some talents in different areas, what I hear is somebody that wants to contribute, and there's so many ways in today's world to put yourself out there and do that. Yeah. And particularly when you have more experience in an industry, that pays better as a consultant than as somebody. You know, you might be able to pay for your healthcare by doing one freelance gig a month in Chicago at the convention center. Just one. For 2 days, a month. And then the healthcare's handled, and now you can worry about how to fill in the other 28 days. And I'm sorry if the advice sucks, and you know, but anyway, that's what I think it is. I think you're working on the wrong problem, in the wrong order. Yes, Mary.
My question is, you said that every 2 weeks you do the same thing and go back to them saying we've got to do this, but really that's not the problem. Really, the problem is you're overwhelmed. And
yeah.
So how do you fix that?
I do a brain dump, and you know, what I notice about myself is before I realize that I'm overwhelmed and not feeling grounded, I start asking for help. And so I start asking Mandy and Chris to sit down with me and go over the calendar. And I start to tell Chris we need a date night. These are sort of the hallmark signs that Mel Robbins is not feeling tethered. And it's not surprising, given the fact that when I think about the flu ran through our house for 10 days straight, my parents came and visit, my brother came and visit, my kids were in a play, Mandy and I have been on the road, Mandy just got over the flu, like it's just been, that's what tends to happen. And so I don't necessarily think that you have to get rid of some of your behaviors. You know what I mean? Like, because if I listen to your question, what I hear in your question is, well, how do you stop yourself from doing that? I don't know that I have to, and I don't know that I ever could, but recognizing your own kind of wiring and having a little empathy and humor for yourself so that you recognize your own signals, whether it's what you do when you start to get tired, or it's how you behave in your relationships if you haven't had enough time together, that's really the source of power. At some point, I'll become more self-aware about it. I have a little mechanism in place that allows me to unhook myself, and that mechanism is to ask for help. You see what I'm saying? Like when I start to notice, you know where my big trigger is as a businesswoman? When I notice that I'm caring too much about that's not on my plate, that's the hallmark sign that I'm overwhelmed and I need a day at my desk. You know what I mean? That is what I've come to realize in the last 2 years. And the other thing for me and for a lot of you as entrepreneurs and as trying to launch something is there are phases, and you're kind of going through this too, I bet. When things really get rolling and you got a lot going on, there are periods that are really intense. And myself and our team, we operate at like an inhumanely productive level in terms of the amount of stuff that we have going on, what we do with the small amount of the team that we have. And so I've also, and this is something that Mandy and I are trying as leaders to change, we work all the time because we love to work. And we are trying to pull that back and not be plugged in on the weekends and have some boundaries. And I notice that it's a new way of behaving. And the second I start micromanaging what Tracy's doing or Rachel's doing or Mandy's doing, whoop, okay, Mel's overwhelmed. Mel has too much going on. Mel needs to slow down. Mel needs to spend a couple hours. I hope that helps. If you have a shift that you need to make in order to be more aligned with your values in your marriage or as a parent or in business, slow the f down and figure out what are the things that you're doing out of stress and out of fear and out of overwhelm that actually don't align with who you are as a person. And when you start to slow down and you realign your behaviors with the things that you value, you will be shocked at the way that things grow. You'll be shocked at how much easier things get and how it all starts to fall into place. You are an energy-driven entity. If you are energized by something, you will be amazing at it. If you are depleted by something, you will be horrendous at it. And when I finally got serious about paying attention to my energy, to Mandy's energy, to our collective energy as a company, and we decided, as crazy as it sounds, that we're only going to do projects that energize us. And we're not doing shit that depletes us. And we're certainly not working with anybody that depletes us. When we made that decision a year ago as a company, our income tripled, like immediately. Our productivity literally skyrocketed. People's creativity flourished. And so I cannot underscore enough the importance of you understanding and having the courage to align what you're doing and who you're doing it with the things that naturally energize you. You will be so much more successful and you'll have so much more fun. So much more fun.
I absolutely loved that training in Vegas and the conversation that I had with her. And the reason why is because it illustrates a truth. And the truth is that when you are working alone on the issues in your life, it's easy to get stuck because you get so focused on the problem because it's right in front of your face that you can't often back up and see the bigger picture and the solutions that are right in front of you. I hope that you had a similar breakthrough to her in whatever issue it is that you are feeling stuck on. The other reason why I'm really excited is because that training that you were watching, it is from one of the most favorite things that I do professionally. And it's offering a course called The Power of You. And that was a live training that we conducted for students in the Power of You course. And the reason why I'm telling you this is because we are offering a scholarship program only to those of you who have watched this training series. Our next Power of You class opens up for registration on March 28th. The class will begin April 9th. It is a live 8-week program. If you are interested in learning more about it, and if you're interested in applying for a scholarship, I want you to scroll down because all the information that you need to know to be part of this insanely remarkable class called The Power of You is right below. If you want to apply for a scholarship, we would love, love, love to see your application. And here's how you're going to apply. You're going to see instructions below for how you submit a video in order to be considered for a scholarship. In the instructions below, there are very specific instructions about what you should say in your video and the information that we need. We also want you to take the video that you shoot and we want you to post it on social media. Once you post it on social media, you're going to copy a link to it and you're going to put a link into the comments. You have not applied for a scholarship unless your link to the public post is listed here in the comments. Now, here's the cool thing. On March 29th, I'm going to be announcing the winners of our scholarship program for the Power of You Spring 2018 program on a webinar on March 29th. You don't need to remember any of this. I'm going to be sending you an email about it and everything that you need to know about how you apply for a scholarship for the Spring 2018 Power of You course is right below. I cannot wait to see your videos. And I want to thank you again for watching this 3-part series on spring cleaning your own brain and life. I hope that you got the insights that you needed in order to step into spring and be more powerful, more focused, more confident, and more energized, because you know what? You really deserve it. When I said that this was a 3-part training with no strings attached, I really mean it. So thank you so much for just watching, for applying the stuff that we're talking about, and for, of course, staying connected with us on social media. I hope you have an awesome spring.